Welcome to the Explainer. So here's a fascinating thought. What happens when you ask an AI to dream up a world? A world where ancient traditions and, this kind of digital chaos are constantly at war with each other.
All right, let's get right into it. The answer, it turns out, is this incredible project called Echoes of the Steppe. And we're not just talking about a song or two. This is a complete world, a full album, a short story, the whole shebang, all imagined from this collaboration between a human and an AI.
So the story follows our hero, 𝗧𝗓𝗧, who's on this deep quest for belonging. And his journey, it unfolds in three really distinct parts. First, there's remembrance, looking back at the world he lost. Then comes rupture. That's the shock of arriving in a totally new place. And finally, we get to renewed ritual, which is all about how you create a new way to survive.
Okay, so part one, remembrance. Where does 𝗧𝗓𝗧's story even begin? Well, it starts out on the vast, open steppe. And what's crucial to understand here is that his culture isn't about being tied to one specific piece of land. No, it's defined by its ability to move, to be portable.
And this right here, this is what's really at stake in the whole story. For 𝗧𝗓𝗧's people, culture isn't something fixed, it's carried. Think about it, 𝗬𝗏 throat singing? That's not just music, it's a portable memory, a living archive of the landscape sounds. The yurt? It's a mobile home, a sanctuary for their rituals that they can take anywhere. So home, memory, these are things you carry inside you. That's a huge idea.
Which brings us to part two, rupture. Because that entire way of life, it just gets completely shattered. 𝗧𝗓𝗧 arrives in what's called the City of Mirrors. And this is not just any city, right? It's the sprawling metropolis of chrome and glass, a place that's designed to reflect you, and, as we'll see, to ultimately erase it.
And this line from the lyrics, man, it just says it all. Signal lost. Can't find home in this digital. It perfectly captures that immediate feeling of being totally unmoored, of being dislocated. The connection to his past, to himself, it's just gone. The signal is lost, both literally and, metaphorically. So in this city, everything that made 𝗧𝗓𝗧 who he is gets broken down, analyzed, and turned into a product. His name, it's just pixels on a screen now. His heritage becomes another data set to be mined. And the voices of his ancestors, they're still whispering, but the bandwidth's too narrow to hear them through all the digital noise. It's such a powerful way to describe that diasporic experience, right? Of having your identity just completely fractured by this new, overwhelming world.
And make no mistake, this threat isn't just some passive, ambient thing. It's an active, predatory system. They call it the observance, or, if you're on the streets, firewall spirits. And this surveillance network, it doesn't just watch you. No, it actively hunts for cultural practices it can either sell or just delete.
And this quote from 𝗧𝗓𝗧, one of the district elders, wow, it just cuts right to the bone and captures the true horror of the system. They will sell your grandmother's lullaby as an ambient loop for spas. I mean, just think about that. The most sacred personal parts of your culture, a song your grandmother sang to you, gets flattened into a meaningless product, stripped of its soul, and sold off.
Okay, so that brings us to the third and final act, renewed ritual. Because in the face of all this pressure, this constant push to either assimilate or just be erased completely, the community doesn't just roll over. They don't just survive, they innovate. They fight back. Not with weapons, but with creativity, by forging entirely new ways to be together.
And this is their act of resistance. They form what they call digital yurts. Now, these aren't physical buildings. They're makeshift communities built in the cracks and margins of the city. They take old, discarded tech and repurpose it. And just like back on the steppe, they carry their home inside their voices, their shared stories.
And that elder, 𝗧𝗕𝗕, who used to be a municipal archivist, by the way, so she's seen this firsthand, she really lays out the core of their entire strategy. She says, to archive is not to remember. A digital file is just a ghost. True memory, she argues, needs mouths and prayers and smoke. It has to be a living, breathing thing. It has to be performed, spoken, sung, shared.
So what do? They develop this absolutely brilliant method to protect their culture, something they call the ritual code. They actually translate their sacred rhythms into algorithms. But, and here's the genius part, really, they intentionally embed them with human imperfections, little glitches, corrupt metadata, things that look like errors to a machine. But hidden inside those errors are their stories. It's like a cultural inoculation. A machine sees a bug and discards it. A human sees a story and understands it.
And all of this incredible work, it builds to this really powerful conclusion, a moment where the ritual code is finally set free. But it's not an attack, not a virus in the typical sense. It's something else entirely.
See, their goal was never to rebel, not in the way we usually think about it. It wasn't about fighting the system head-on. It was about creating resonance, a unity frequency, if you will. Something that resonated so deeply with the people in the city that its cold, digital logic just couldn't process it, couldn't divide it, couldn't ignore it.
And the effect, it's incredible. The city systems start to glitch, but in these beautiful, poetic ways. Advertisements just collapse into poems. Cold surveillance feeds dissolve into human chants. The frequency doesn't lodge itself in data servers. It lodges itself in flesh, in people. It spreads organically, and in doing so, it completely changes the heart and soul of the city.
And just when you think you've got it all figured out, here comes the final twist, the part that makes you rethink everything. This entire project, the music, the lyrics, this whole story about using technology to save human memory was itself generated by an AI. It was created by the very technology it explores. The AI didn't just tell a story about this process. Its own creation is the story. It's so meta and so cool.
Which leaves us with this one big provocative question to chew on, right? We're so used to thinking of technology as this force for erasure, something that flattens culture. But what if this project is pointing to something else? What if AI could actually be a partner in this, not just a tool for archiving the past, but something that could help us dream up the new rituals, the new stories that will define our future?